Hi guys, I hope you're all well. So yeah, my pillage board is coming along a treat with obviously quite a lot of war bands now and plenty of terrain, buildings, bridges, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, even the Viking longship, although I think they might have been longer than this. Yeah, absolutely loving this game. So what I'm going to be showing in this video though, something a little bit different, and that's a little market stall with some normal people, people going about their daily life, and then obviously the Vikings, Romans, not Romans, but Normans or Saxons are going to come in and mess up their day. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to show how I built and made and painted all these little sets and the miniatures. So for a change though, this time the actual terrain is going to be on a sprue, and it's the miniatures that I'm going to be 3D printing. So as you'll have seen, yeah, Victrix is where I get the miniatures from, and obviously the game Pillage itself. But they've just released this market set, which is pretty cool, because obviously it gives you lots of pieces to make up a market, as well as obviously loads of grains of sacks of grain, and bits and pieces that you'd have in your little sort of village for people to come along and pillage, which is pretty cool. So lots of different sort of sacks here. Some are sort of fully built, and some are in halves. So it's just a case of patting things off the sprue, and if they need attaching, then yeah, a little bit of cement glue to sort of put them together. So there's quite a lot of sacks here that are ready made, and yeah, we just sort of glue them together on top of each other. So it doesn't take long. Obviously, the cement glue I'm using, yeah, it's blue, as opposed to a clear one. It's from Green Stuff World, and the reason it's blue is just so you can see, you can see where you've put the glue, because normally it's pretty clear. So same sort of thing for the barrels. And the cool thing with this is there is or included is a new scenario, that incorporates this market scene, as you can actually kick, throw, move the barrels at your opponent, and they do damage, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to to playing that scenario sometime in the future. But again, yeah, everything just sort of gets cut out. So this is the blue one I use. Normally, you can say you get the clear one. Obviously, the reason for the blue one, say, is purely so you can see where you put it, because obviously the clear one is, it's just that, it's clear, and you can't see it. Everything goes together a real treat. I'm going to do some batch painting. As always, that's what I kind of like to do these days, just because it means I can get everything done in sort of one hit. Obviously, tabletop ready sort of scheme. Nothing magical here. It's just simple speed paints, contrast paints, and all that. So as you can see, tons of stuff with this market stall, which is pretty cool. Loads of little items, accessories, pots, pans, and bowls of food. So I'm going to actually glue these onto the table, just otherwise, I can see me ending up losing them. So that's the market stall. Now I need the townsfolk. Again, guys, links down below to everything I'm going to be using. But as you can see, yeah, a whole array of awesome looking figures here, and heads, tons and tons of heads. These are all by Infernal Miniatures. So this is on my mini factory, but they have just recently launched a Kickstarter, so I'll leave links to that as well. But yeah, so everything's modular. Obviously, you can do different arms variations, different head variations, and there's some animals and bits and pieces there too, which is pretty cool. So I'm using the Halo X1. Yeah, again, this has been working a treat for about the last, I don't know how many months now. And they sent me some new resin, some ABS like 2.0 resin. Obviously, ABS resin is great for using when you're doing miniatures, because it just gives that bit more flex to sort of swords, poles, and any thin sort of bits. So rather than dropping them and then snapping, yeah, you can now drop and they should bounce. So this is what I'm using in this one. So obviously, I'm going to print out loads of these townsfolk. And the great thing, so this printer, it's a lovely size printer. You can get plenty on there. I could have got a lot more, but I think this is kind of enough for what I need. But obviously, the usual thing, if I need more, then I just print more. So a whole variety. Some great looking miniatures here, lots of detail, definition. There's even a little poor guy there sitting on the floor having his hand out. But yeah, lots of just sort of general townsfolk. So none of these are actually going to be fighting. I'm sure these people are going to start running away, if not dying, when you play the game Pillage. Again, yeah, I say it every time. Flappy paddles. I love these. It just means I've not had to scrape miniatures off the build plate. I just do the flappy bit and they come off. Obviously, these work nice and close together, so they are well pretty much linked in, which is pretty cool. So they've been through the wash system. Now there's in some warm water because obviously this helps, say, the removal of the supports. And as you can see, peel off a treat. And then we're left with, well, some nice looking figures. So I've done a couple of monks as well, as obviously there is a scenario for them. I did print off some monks before, but yeah, you can you can never have too many monks well, to use in your games. So yeah, it didn't take long getting all the bits and pieces off. Say the resin, yeah, it worked really, really well. You can definitely feel there's extra flex in the supports. Some supports feel sort of very hard and brittle, and almost sort of snap off. Obviously, it's another reason for using warm water. It does soften them up. Just like all the wall bands, the miniatures that I've been painting, yeah, I've stuck them on some metal bases. These just get, I say, I prefer the metal bases to sort of plastic ones. These just give a little bit more weight to the miniature, so they stand well, and they just feel good when you sort of move them around. And just like all the war bands, so the Normans and Vikings that I've been painting, simple bases for these chaps as well, and chapesses. As you can see, yeah, on my paint and handles with my trays. So I've done the same thing with all the terrain pieces. As I say, I'm going to batch paint everything. So yeah, it just makes things a lot quicker and a lot simpler, especially when a lot of the colours I'm going to be using are going to be sort of on all of these miniatures, whether it's the townsfolk or the actual tables and grains of sacks of grains and all the rest. So as always, primed in black. Yeah, I don't seem to do the dry brushing when I'm doing batch painting, just because dry brushing, it's not a slow process, but it's definitely slower than me just taking things outside, getting a rattle can with white, and doing a zenithal highlighting from sort of above, which is obviously everything I've done here. So starting off with some colour that I think I'm going to be using on pretty much most things. Starting with good old brown here. And then it is just a case of obviously, well, cracking on and painting. Say speed paints, contrast paints. Yeah, big game changer for me. I say big game. We're going back about 3 years now. Yeah, God, time flies. I'm at this channel for nearly 5 years. Anyone who's been here from the very beginning obviously knows that I used to hate painting initially. Love building things, making things, but the actual painting side of it, yeah, it was something I always felt like I was letting myself down doing like a real good build and then painting it and it looked a mess. Whereas contrast paints, speed paints, dipping inks, whichever ones you may use, yeah, so much easier and better. So my little paint system here, absolutely love this. Obviously, all the paints are in there. I can see exactly what colours there are. There will be a new video coming out soon because I've got some new paints. I just want to show you how versatile that paint racking system is. As well, yeah, I've adapted it and changed it a little bit. So painting the tables. So that's a good thing about as well. These contrast paints I've got or speed paints. I've got a whole variety of browns, plenty to choose from. So I don't have to sort of mix or match any colours. And obviously the fact that I painted all the handles and the lids, the colour that they come out, makes it so much easier to sort of pick one up and know exactly how it's going to look on my miniature, which is pretty cool. So guys, if you play Pillage, let me know in the comments down below, or if there's any other sort of games you play. Again, I do get hooked very easily on new games. This is definitely my favourite game to play. And obviously, well, you can tell that by the amount of videos I've been producing because I've been painting lots of war bands, making lots of terrain and scenery. And obviously this video, a bit of both. It's got some miniatures and some terrain. Just because I absolutely love this game. It's easy to pick it up, easy to play, because obviously I like easy games to play. Rules are nice and easy to follow. Doesn't take too long at all to get into it. And it's just, yeah, it's just a fun game to play. So yeah, let me know. Or if there's any other games you play. I do, obviously my sort of genre is definitely sci-fi and medieval. They are the sort of my go-to sort of games. And obviously games with miniatures. Yeah, absolutely love these kind of things. Guys, it would be great if you could help me out. Obviously, like sharing the video, liking, subscribing, and leave comments, as this really does help the channel out so much. Obviously, I am still trying to grow the channel and get it as big and, well, to sort of more people as I can. And obviously I can do that with your help, say simply by you guys sharing the video, liking, subscribing, all that kind of wonderful stuff. Okay, enough of that little nonsense. Back to the painting. I say very simple, very easy. But yes, I do love painting now. It's great to be able to take a grey bit of plastic, whether it's been printed or cut off the sprue like these, and yeah, just get them ready for the tabletop to play games with. And as I say, this game is, I can't keep saying it enough. This game is awesome, and there's so many more things I want to do to it. Obviously, I would love to make an even bigger gaming board, as I really want to incorporate well, a castle, or even if it's just sort of parts of a castle. But obviously, as I'm always saying, yeah, lack of space kind of prevents me from going too wild. This is where I would love to have a studio space because I would have a gaming table, I don't know, 16 foot by 10 foot. And I keep imagining making one where I'd have a little pop up bit in the middle. So you can sort of go up and, yeah, be able to reach every single piece that's on there. But yeah, definitely a castle is what I'm looking at doing. I say it won't be a full castle, unfortunately, due to lack of room. But I'm certainly going to be doing a part castle, definitely obviously the front of the castle, as again something to attack or defend. I think would certainly be very cool. And obviously, luckily with the help of 3D printers, yeah, I can make some bits of walls and other stuff. So yeah, a lot of guys, a lot of stuff I use terrain wise is from printable sceneries. Again, links down below, guys. There's always links down below. Some of the links are affiliate links. This means it doesn't cost you anything. If you do click on them, then I get a few pennies back. And sometimes then the companies want to, well, they want to send me some free goodies, which is always good. But say it doesn't cost you anything, which is obviously good. And sometimes I do get discount codes as well. So yeah, the more you guys use the affiliate links, the more of a chance I'm going to get stuff sent back. So it didn't take too long at all to really get these things sort of, well, as they are now, which is pretty cool. And then keeping with the color schemes, I'm kind of doing the same that I've done with all the war bands. So the Vikings and the Normans, trying to keep the colors not necessarily dowdy, but just not too vibrant, not too bright. Um, Keeping it with like earthy colors, I guess, sort of definitely browns, greens, the odd little bit of orange here and there. As I believe that the Royals had all the blues and the purples, the colours that were obviously harder to make. Yeah, it was obviously more expensive. So yeah, colour schemes. Obviously, I do try and sort of show you every sort of colour that I use. But yeah, definitely keeping the colour schemes nice and sort of bland or bland-ish. Also, I do sometimes then go over things with a wash just to make them even more dirtier, grubbier. Just to give more of that authentic look of, yeah, these people didn't have a lot of money. Obviously, definitely tough times back in the medieval days with all the looting, pillaging, and all the rest. So these are the sort of the main colours that I've been using. Say mostly sort of like greens and browns, a little bit of sort of, well, kind of orangey colour in there. And then yeah, a good old light tone wash. I've got a variety of washes. Obviously, I've got my homemade wash as well. But I think this light tone one works really well with the skin colours. So yes, that's exactly why it's going to go over this person's skin, just to go into the nooks and crannies and get a bit of contrast on them. And to say, it almost kind of like dirties up the skin, so it's not too clean. Because I'm sure these people didn't bath that much either. Other than may have done. I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not a historian, although I am starting to watch more and more kind of like medieval sort of history channel stuff. Just because I want to learn more. But my problem is this is where I got memory like a sieve. So as much as I love watching these things, you give me half hour, ask me any questions, and I won't be able to recall much or anything of what I've just watched. I think this is why I didn't really take history at school because I would have loved to have, because obviously I loved Romans, knights, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, my memory. Well, the good thing is it's always been shocking. I mean, it might be getting worse. I wouldn't know. Anyway, I'm waffling. So yeah, it didn't take too long at all. Again, batch painting. Absolutely love batch painting. I've been painting lots of things at once, whether it's obviously in this case miniatures and terrain, or just painting a whole warband of say 36 miniatures. You'd have seen in the previous video that's what I did. Just makes things so much easier, quicker, and it makes them all look a bit more uniformed because I am literally using sort of similar sort of paints on each and all of them. So say there we go. That is now my little market stall area. Some townsfolk to to now terrorize in my next games of pillage. So don't forget to check out the links to Victrix where you can get hold of this the new market sort of stall set they've done, as well as say the scenario you can now play with this. Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Throwing barrels or rolling barrels at people to see if you can take them out, which is pretty cool. And so obviously the miniatures from Infernal Miniatures, as well as Halo, PO Create, for their awesome 3D printer, which say I've been using pretty much non-stop now for at least the last couple of months. It certainly has been used quite a lot to obviously make a lot of the terrain that you can sort of see here in the background, as well as even parts of the board were done on the 3D printer. So yeah, check out all the links down below. So again, really does help me out so much. And here we go. This is me just being a big hit. I could almost play this game on my own, I think. Just moving the miniatures around. So here comes my warband. Not too sure which ones these are. These might be the Saxons, might be a bit of Romans. No, keep saying Romans. We want to do some Romans because I love Romans. Could be some Vikings coming in to nick everything, set fire to the stuff, and to just basically be bad uns. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments, all that kind of wonderful stuff. I'm going to say it one more time. Check out the links down below. Okay, guys, you take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.